Hey guys, TakuyaSugi here to show you some of the new gears in the North America version of Lost Saga's shop update and what they do. So this week's shop update, you have the Nuada Armor, you have the IceGodTrink, you have the LiquidHat, aka the Slime Hat, you have the EveRifle, the Transcendent Circlet, and the martial arts uniform. So 6 gears in total. We'll show what they look like first, and then we will go into what they do. So this is what let me go ahead and show you what gears I have equipped here. So Nuada Armor, Slime Hat, and EveRifle. So this is what those 3 gears look like on a male. Booyah, booyah. He's popping off that belly. Let's see what it looks like on a female here. Style, gender, female. There you go. So on female, a little bit different. Still popping off that belly. A little bit more leg action, I suppose. And the Slime Hat and the EveRifle look about the same on female. So let's look at the other 3 gears really quickly before we get into what they do. So martial arts uniform, transcendent helmet, and the... what else was I doing? IceGodTrink? I didn't do that one, did I? Okay, here you go. So this is what it looks like on female. The martial arts uniform. You got kind of swirly bra there. And sandals, and you got that little mask and the nice little ice looking wings. See what it looks like on a male right quick. Oops, I didn't swap, did I? My bad, guys. There you go. So that's what it looks like on a male. Do a taunt real quick. Very Asian-y looking. Kind of cool. White. You could reskin that to look pretty colorful. The helmet and the trinket look pretty much the same, however. So not too shabby on the styles there. If you're into styling things, you could maybe work with these gears this week. But let's check out what they do. So we'll start with the martial arts uniform here, the Krav Maga skill. So this is what it does. Trigger it. You grab someone. You can choke them up to 6 times, and then they will pop up into the air, and you can juggle off that. You can air trigger this as well. And you can hit your block key in between these attacks or at the beginning to do a big spin, which will do a low bounce down. And it is like manually aimed, so if you're going to do this, you have to kind of pretty much guess which way you're going unless you have lightning fast reflexes. And as you're spinning people, you will hit them down onto the ground as his teammates onto the ground as you are spinning them. So I know the big question here is the skill lag sensitive? So let's go ahead and go to a plaza and double check the lag sensitivity on this martial art. So doing a few quick lag checks here, guys, on the Krav Maga martial arts uniform and the Transcendent Circle here. So we'll start with the Krav Maga here. So Krav Maga, your martial arts uniform, you try to grab someone, and this is what it does. It does a half feint, and you don't get your full effect. You don't get the little choke. You don't get the throw. It's a big downer. So there you go again. I can't even do the suplex even though I was smashing my block key, my little tornado spin. So it does seem very lag sensitive. This guy doesn't seem that laggy. He seems like your average Lost Saga player, you know, in terms of connection. So it's definitely lag sensitive. It looked lag sensitive, and now, you know, it's not working. It's definitely not working. So that's unfortunate there, guys, but, you know, it is what it is. So hit him off on the ground, try it again. So you can see he won't even stand up off the ground here. So very unfortunate there. So we'll try out the Transcendent Circle here really quickly while we're in here, and then we'll discuss it in HQ afterwards, just to double check the lag sensitivity on it. Actually, you know what, we'll just demo it in here. So you throw out a projectile, and then you rush forward and grab someone, and you kick them away. So that's how that works. We'll go into it in more detail once we get into HQ. But you can see it's a little bit lag sensitive, where it will sometimes not work and sometimes it will. This person here is just like getting in the way really badly. We'll try and grab her while she's here. So you can see it definitely didn't work with the armor on that person either. Wait one more time on the helmet so we can get a clear test without the lady there. So here we go. There we go. It actually worked that time. It kind of worked that time, and it kind of worked that time as well. So you can see sometimes it might work. So let's go into HQ and discuss it a little. So yeah, guys, unfortunately both of these gears are a little bit lag sensitive, especially the armor. So let's go into the helmet just a teeny bit more. You probably got the gist of it. So you throw out a projectile. You can throw out it multiple times, and then you'll rush forward to someone and grab them, and you can aim in a direction But you know, in lag, you're definitely not going to be able to aim in a direction. So you're going to want to mash your D key if you want to get the kick out. Otherwise, you're going to stand up and you're going to lose the whole effect. So you got to mash your D in order to get the lag sensitivity to not screw you over completely. But otherwise, it's a pretty useful skill, I would say. I would say it would be very good on like Hakumen, where you could ground kick in between. You can do this up to 3 times, which means if you get it all the way, if you want to edge someone really quickly and finish them off really quickly, you can use this to do just that. And you can trigger in the air as well to rush forward to someone. And it seems to go a far distance, but it seemed like it was a little bit too far back there. Let me go ahead and mark him with it and then run. So yeah, it seems like it's almost in limited range once you have someone marked. So that's very interesting. That's very interesting. That would be pretty fun to use in deathmatch if it worked properly. So yeah, helmets, you know, it's a risk, but it's not as big of a risk as the armor. So buyer beware on the armor, and a little bit less buyer beware on the helmet. So let's see what the IceGodTrink here does. So IceGodTrink, you bring up a little targeting reticle. This is your max range in the circle, and if you press your jump key, it will rotate it counterclockwise. If you press your block key, it will rotate it clockwise. And if you trigger this, it will summon an impassable wall, which is not too big. You know, it's like an Anivia style wall from League of Legends. And if someone walks into it or gets nudged into it, they will be frozen. So it does not refreeze like on a continuous loop, but it will kind of pulse out at least 2 pulses, which will allow you to freeze someone. So, and you could use this on grounded offensively as well. So if you want to freeze someone on the ground, there you go. Pretty neat there. You see it does double freeze, so you will be frozen for a little bit of time during that, unless you can toggle out of it. I don't think you can toggle out of it, but I cannot test the toggle out capability. And if someone does walk into it, like if they try to get at you, bro, they will be frozen. So we'll pull that robot in. There you go. But he will not get frozen right away. You can see that right there. There it is. So he does get frozen after being broken from being frozen once again. Just it takes a little bit of a cooldown after the initial freeze. So very interesting trinket here. I really do like it. I think this is a really worthwhile trinket. And by the way, on the armor, guys, if I failed to mention it, but it does work as a half feint counter. So take that for what it's worth. So if you do want to use the gear for something, that's something. It might be lag sensitive most of the time, however. So let's check out what the other 3 gears here do. So the Nuada Armor, EveRifle, and LiquidHat. So we'll start with the Nuada Armor. Rush forward at someone, you do a hard stun, and then you slam down and knock them back. So kind of an interesting gear here. It's very interesting, but you know, it doesn't seem like the effect is very good. It's an interesting effect, but it seems strange the way the effect works. It's like a nice knockback, but you know, it does keep them in place for it, but it does not hit grounded, unless I'm missing something about how to hit grounded with it. And you know, if you do lock someone up, I guess your teammates could hit them, but generally it seems like just a simple knockback. And I'm not a fan of the armor. You might like the armor for how it looks or something like that, or how the effect works on a crowd of AoE. It is a good AoE, but I'm not a fan of the armor. So let's check out the Slime Hat. Slime Hat, you pull out a slime. This is your max range on the slime. It does not go any further. You do control the slime, however. You will be locked in place while controlling the slime. If you hit someone with the slime, they will be in kind of like a panic mode, and the slime will keep them kind of in range a little bit, and then they will explode and take drop damage. So really cool skill here. It does hit grounded as well, so you can see here. But yeah, you are limited a little bit by your max range, so you gotta keep in mind of that. You're not going to be able to push someone off from like in the middle of the map with that, but you will get that nice drop damage effect and the panic attacks going on with the initial hits and all that. So pretty nice skill there, pretty nice skill. So let's check out the EveRifle, your trinket. So I want you to see the skill description of this. This is very interesting. I barely caught this. It is all up to you now. I am passing you all of my power. So I guess it's like some kind of anime trinket. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have a cooldown once you trigger it. You can dash while using this. It will auto lock on, as you can see there. And if you have 2 charges to it, like your ammo. So if you press it lightly once, you'll get a half feint. And it'll do pretty fair damage as well. So not too bad there. If you do it back to back, it's just going to knock someone to the ground, it seems like. I don't know if I'm missing something about how to get the feint off with this, but I have seen it feint before. Let me try and get the feint. You can charge it up, by the way. So if you want to charge it up big time, you'll get out this massive beams, which will knock down. But this can feint. There it goes. It actually feinted that time, so it's really strange how the feint works. You know, if you're observing it and see how I do it, I do kind of a light charge instead of a big charge to get the feint, but you know, I don't know. It seems like, okay, I'm going to show you how I do it. So I'm going to hold it down very briefly. So tap, let release. And so that was too long. So tap, release. So it seems like if you do it really quickly, like kind of a very hold D-ish press, it will do kind of a feint status. So really cool skill here, really cool skill. I like it. Let me go ahead and trigger a crowd for it here real quick here. Very loud skill, by the way, if you haven't noticed here. So how it works on a crowd, you use your block button to cycle in between opponents. So that's, you know, if you got a lot of targets, you're gonna have to have your work cut out for you, when it comes to hitting multiple people in a big crowd, hitting your single target. So yeah, that'll do it for all 6 gears here today, guys. You know, my personal recommendations. I think the Eve trinket is very cool. It's not the best. I think the slime helmet might be the best. I really like that. The martial arts uniform, I would say that's probably the worst, just because of the lag sensitivity. Otherwise, it would be really good if it functioned properly. The IceGodTrink is very, 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 very good. I think that might be the winner for the best gear this week. And the Transcendent Circle, I think this does have a lot of potential, but you're going to be gambling with the lag sensitivity. But, you know, it does seem very, very good with this skill. You know, I like it. I like it. But yeah, definitely the IceGodTrink is very good. Nuada Armor, that might be the second worst. So, you know, take my opinion for what it's worth. You know, that's just my personal preference. I see like myself having fun with certain gears there, not so much with certain others. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully it helped you some, and I hope to see you next video.